There are many elements to making a fantastic horror film, but saying that, one of the most important aspects is the antagonist, the monster that is going to be tormenting your protagonist and hopefully keeping us awake at night in the process. So today on Top 5 Scary Videos, I'm going to be counting down our list of the top 5 iconic horror movie monster designs. Before we begin though, be sure to stick around until the end of the video where I'll be responding to some of your comments. And with that, let's jump in. Coming in at 5, Gremlins from Gremlins. Gremlins are the fictional and unknown reptile-like creatures who are the primary antagonist of the entire Gremlins franchise. They made their debut in the 1984 movie Gremlins before reappearing in its sequel, Gremlins 2: The New Batch. They are also based upon the creatures with the same name of Old English folklore. Inspired by real-life nightmares of rodent infestation in the NYC loft, Chris Columbus originally conceived the Gremlins as an R-rated suburban invasion force. However, once the script found its way to Steven Spielberg, the violence was significantly toned down. However, saying that the final design was still enough to traumatize young children, even some adults. Chris Wallace was the man behind dozens of iconic movie monsters. He brought us Brundlefly as well as Jabba the Hutt's henchmen. However, nothing will ever top the Gremlins with their sharp claws, sharp teeth, and piercing alien eyes. Now, there are multiple variations of the Gremlins, including Vegetable Gremlin. One gremlin turns into a creature made of living vegetation. Electric Gremlin, it drinks a serum that turns it into raw energy. Brain Gremlin, it drinks serum that increases its intelligence and gives him a human voice. Bat Gremlin, it mutates into a bat creature and then he's injected with genetic sunblock by the Brain Gremlin. Phantom Gremlin, it has acid splashed in his face and he hides his facial scars behind a mask. Greta, one gremlin drinks a serum and she becomes a female gremlin. And finally, Mohawk/Spider Gremlin. Near the end of the movie, Mohawk drinks a serum that turns him into spider-like gremlin. Yeah, a lot. But it just goes to show how meticulous they are with the monster designs that will linger in our psyche for a long time. Coming in at 4, Brundlefly from The Fly. Seth Brundle, or better known as Brundlefly, is the titular protagonist played by Jeff Goldblum of David Cronenberg's 1986 remake of The Fly. Now, the Academy Award-winning makeup was designed and executed by Chris Wallace, the guy we just mentioned, over a period of 3 months. The final Brundlefly was designed first, and then the various steps needed to carry Seth Brundle to that final incarnation were designed afterwards. Overall, the transformation was intended to be a metaphor for the aging process. So saying that, Brundle loses hair, teeth, and fingernails, and his skin becomes more and more discolored and lumpy. The transformation was broken up into 7 distinct stages, with Goldblum spending many hours in the makeup chair for the latter incarnations. Stages 1 and 2, subtle rash-like skin discoloration that leads to facial lesions and sores with tiny fly hairs dotting Goldblum's face, in addition to the patch of fly hairs growing out of the wound on Brundle's back. Stages 3 and 4A, female prosthetics covering Goldblum's face, wigs with bald spots, and crooked prosthetic teeth. Stage 4B, deleted from the film, this variant of Stage 4 was seen only in the monkey cat scene and required Goldblum to wear the first of 2 full-body foam latex suits, as Brundle had stopped wearing clothing at this point. Stage 5, the second full-body suit with more exaggerated deformities, which also required Goldblum to wear distorting contact lenses that made one eye look larger than the other. Stage 6, the final Brundlefly creature depicted by various partial and full-body cable and rod-controlled puppets. Stage 7, another puppet which represented the mortally injured Brundlefly telepod fusion creature as seen in the movie's final moments. There is something truly sickening about this monster creation, which at the same time is deeply upsetting and capable of moving you to tears. Most, but not me. Coming in at 3, the Predator from Predator. The Predators, or Hunters, are an extraterrestrial species characterized by their hunting of dangerous species for sport, including humans. They are a sentient humanoid race that breathe an atmosphere similar to that of Earth's, but possess a level of technological advancements far superior to anything available to humans. They're bipedal humanoids, physically distinguishable from humans by their greater height, long, hair-like appendages on their heads, their reptilian skin, and their faces, which feature arthropod-like mandibles and no visible nose. The Predator also use their mandibles to convey emotions. For example, flared mandibles apparently signify interest or curiosity, and they have even been known to grin with them, which is pretty damn creepy. They can also employ their mandibles as weapons, using them to inflict grievous bite wounds on their opponent. As well as the fleshy dreadlocks around the side of their head, some predators have also been seen to possess sparse quills on their cheeks and above their eyes. The Predator were designed by FX artist Stan Winston, but did you know it was originally intended to fit martial artist Jean-Claude Van Damme, which ended up becoming something short of a cheap imitation of H.R. Geiger's iconic alien design. However, lucky for us, the design was scrapped after some test shooting, leaving us with the creature we know and love today. From the advanced weaponry and the mask, the creature is one that is not forgotten quickly and is perhaps one of the most iconic monsters in cinematic history. Coming in at 2, the Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth. To quote the faun in Pan's Labyrinth, "You're going to a very dangerous place, so be careful. The thing that slumbers there, it is not human." The Pale Man is the secondary antagonist of the Spanish dark fantasy horror Pan's Labyrinth. Now, despite only appearing in one scene in the entire movie, he is perhaps one of the scariest monsters ever created. He is a pale-skinned humanoid monster with his eyeballs in the palms of his hands, which is unsettling to say the least. As most will know, Guillermo del Toro loves his monsters, and in turn his monsters tend to be some of the most terrifying creatures to ever grace our screens. However, the one that truly takes the cake is the Pale Man, a monster that is a grotesque work of art, played by Doug Jones. His appearance is unnerving, but to make matters worse, he's hungry for children and fairies, and seeing him hunt for his meal is something that will keep you up at night. His skin is saggy and wrinkly, and the eyeballs on his palms are absolutely terrifying to even look at. Trivia for you lovers of Pan's Labyrinth: Pale Man was inspired by the threesome of stigmata, Goya paintings, and old men with droopy skin. Yep, it's a lot of a lot. And finally coming in at number 1, Xenomorph from Alien. The Xenomorph XX121, better known just as Xenomorph, is an extraterrestrial endoparasitoid species with multiple life cycles, hailing from the Alien franchise. It is one of the deadliest of all known alien species and requires a host organism in order to reproduce. Now, its appearance can vary depending on the host in which the facehugger implants. However, the human phenotype is generally around 7 to 8 feet, with a long muscular tail and large curved oblong head. Designed by acclaimed artist H.R. Geiger and constructed by Carlo Rambaldi, this creature design is vaguely erotic, particularly with its phallic-shaped head, not to mention the subtle parallels to sexual assault, with the creature forcibly penetrating to impregnate its hosts, only for the parasite to grow unusually fast and then burst out of the human via the chest cavity. Now, there have been countless variations portrayed in noticeably different ways throughout the film's series. Now, much of this was to do with the continuing advancements made in special effects, technology, and techniques used to bring it to life. As previously stated in the original Alien film and in the sequel Aliens, the Xenomorphs were tall, slender creatures. However, in the later films they are depicted as being shorter and bulkier organisms. Regardless of the significant physical changes to the creature, the original look has barely changed, resulting in one of the most terrifying monsters in history. Well, there we have it. You guys agree with our list? Were there any iconic horror movie monster designs that we missed? Leave us all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below, and perhaps we can do a part 2. Before I go though, I just want to respond to a few comments from one of our last videos. Top 5 scary horror books better than the movie. Count Orlock 22 said, "It is yet to be adapted in a manner that matches the horror of the novel." I agree with you, to an extent, but I do believe the Tim Curry miniseries was absolutely terrifying, and that kept me up at night. Amanda Evans said, "The book of The Haunting of Hill House is fantastic. The original film was great, but the remake was oh dear." Yeah, I've read the book. The book was truly terrifying. The original was traumatizing, and that we don't talk about the remake. The Catherine Zeta-Jones one. We don't talk about it. James Sano said, "Let the Right One In is such a good movie. Now I'm going to check out the book. Thank you, Queen. As always, you're on point." As always, I am on point. Lucy Ann Thrope said, "Dear Lucy, oh sweet dear Lucy, you made me fall off my chair when you pronounced Lindquist." I laughed. See, I can't even do it now. Lindquist. Stop saying Linquest. It's not Linquest. Chris thinks it's Linquest. Lindquist. And on that note, if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another scary vid. And until next time, see you later. There are many elements to making a good start. Inspired by a real-life nightmare of rodent infestation. Rusty trombone, yeah. You got your food? Yeah. Is an extraterrestrial endoparasitoid. Parasitoid. and on that,